Well, hello. Well, today's one of those days where I'm going to show you how to dress up a box dinner. I call them box dinners. Someone gave me this. Sorry. So I'm going to take this Alfredo and I'm going to add my own chicken and some, milk, butter, and some parsley, pepper, and Lawry's. I'm thawing my chicken. I like to do it in here in case it drips or anything, or it doesn't dry out while it's sitting in the refrigerator. And 4 Rhodes rolls, because we're going to make a really nice, like a garlic bread with a Parmesan twist. Really, it's lovely. And this is really nice for what it is. And you can put this in your refrigerator in the morning before you go to work. It's not too hard when you get home to fix it, or you could do it the night before, which is what I would always like to do. And that way I could have my chicken already cooked. Hopefully in the morning I can stick it in the crock pot if I want to. But I can have this done so when I get home I can just basically pick it apart and put it into this sauce I'm going to make. So, yep, this is probably going to take a good 6 hours to thaw. Never thaw chicken out on the counter. You might think you'll be mindful of it, but it's actually a whole disaster waiting to happen for your health. So, got to treat it like hazardous waste, I say. So, here we go, and we'll be back. We're going to go ahead and form our bread. You don't have to do this, but I just like the taste of cornmeal underneath my bread. And sprinkle some in there. You can put down a little shortening if you want to. I like to use a little olive oil. I thaw my dough. It's still cold. I like to form it then because it will only rise the Rhodes frozen bread dough. It only seems to want to rise for you once, and I'd like to get the best rise that it has the first time. So I'm just going to form myself a little roll of bread. We'll do something more with it after it's done, but it's good just like this too. It's fine actually. But we want it to be a little bit more than just fine. So I'm just going to work it out. Make sure that it sticks together well. Because if they don't, they are cold, they're going to separate on you. So I just like to roll it out as best as I can by hand. If you have trouble with it sticking, which is not sticking, you can use just a little bit of water. I got a way around that. See, so I'm just gonna kind of fold it in on itself, just like you would a loaf of bread. It's kind of what I'm making, a mini little loaf of bread here. I like to make them tight so it has a nice fluffy texture on the inside. I'm going to seal it off. See, now it's going to give me a bit of a hard time, so I'm just going to dab it with a little bit of water with my fingertips, see? Because you want it to seal. Otherwise it'll open up on you. It's still edible, but it's not as pretty. I also want to tuck in my sides. Ends. I want to make sure that gets a nice little seal on it too. I'm just gonna make sure I got it as even as possible. Make sure those seams hold. I'm going to go ahead and let it rise for 40 minutes to 60 minutes. I'd like it to be nice and airy inside. I use a clean towel. I get it wet, damp. Then I put it to bed. And we'll see what it looks like in a little bit. As for our little chicken breast here, I like to add a little butter. A little garlic. You can use fresh, but this is something that you want to make, like let's say your cupboards are getting bare because you haven't gone to the store recently. It's me. And you want to make something taste really fancy, like you went to a restaurant to have it. I use a little Lawry's. A little parsley. And a little black pepper. And I put a tad of purified water in there. I do not want it to dry out. I'm trying to make a very buttery, flavorful, moist piece of chicken. So I'm going to cover it tightly. Now, I'm going to stick that in the oven at 350, and we're going to check it in about 25 minutes. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take a look at our chicken. Let it cool a little before I start fiddling with this. I just want to show you, because I'm going to cover it back up. Keep all those juices in there. No, I didn't brown it because I want it to be very tender and moist. So I'm going to put this to the side while we cook our sauce and everything. And I want to show you, it doesn't always balloon up like we'd like. That's okay. It's got like a supercharge of yeast in here, and it's no longer cold. So I'm going to put it in the oven at 350, and I'm going to check in at about 20-25 minutes. I want it to have a hollow sound when I thump it. Someone gave me this, but I think Hamburger Helper makes some. I get some packets and use it. With this one here, it has the noodles and everything inside. So we're going to go ahead and put this together. I'm going to add a little to it. I'm going to put in 1.5 cups of water. I was using 1/4 cup measuring. That's why it was so many. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my heavy whipping cream just because I have it left over. It'll add a lot of creaminess. Yep, I meant, sorry, I keep forgetting which measurement I'm using, because I want a 1/4 cup of cream and 1/4 milk of water. 1/4 cup of water. And I'm going to add the broth to this. Cover it and put it back to the side. Now we're just going to bring this to a nice boil, stirring occasionally. We're going to go ahead and put a tablespoon of butter in there. Even though we used heavy cream, I'd like to have a nice rich flavor. Gave me this. And I thought, well, it doesn't take up a lot of room. It doesn't attract, you know, rodents and bugs. And this would be something else that I could take with me. You know, I'm really set on camping out of my car and going on trips and things and eating in my car. And it didn't take a whole lot. I can use powdered milk if I wanted to. You know, less things to keep fresh, and with just a little bit of chicken. And actually I'm making this for my dog right now because he's not feeling that well, but I like to always have this on hand as well. Yeah, I don't want to hold this over my food. You see oops, a little bit of canned chicken. You can do the same thing I'm doing right now. You can use the broth out of there. I'll show you. I don't want to put it over my food. Hold on. See? There's broth in there. You can pour it in there, and you already have your white meat chicken. But we're not using that today. I just wanted to share that with you. Be careful. Some of them have more salt in them than others. The packaged ones made my dog really sick. This one here makes him feel just fine. So those are just a few options for you. And I'll let this cook now. Okay, we just about got it there. So I'm going to go ahead and break up my chicken breast and put it in there. I don't like this. It really bothers me. Anywhere I go, yeah, I always get upset if they don't, you know, take the gristle and stuff out of my chicken properly. So I just break it though, up in pieces. See if we still have all the yummy goodness that we cooked it with. Now, as far as baking my chicken on the road, yeah, I have an answer for that too. And my bread, as a matter of fact, because I have an Instapot we're going to break into here. I was telling my father, well, there's this awesome recipe I want to use for making pizza in a duo fryer. I got from another person that I subscribe to and watch. And they make it in a little van. Anyway, my father got me one for Christmas or my birthday last year or the year before. And we're going to get into that because I can bake chicken in there. I can steam in there. I can fry in there. So we'll play with that in a bit. But I'm going to let this continue to boil. I just wanted to show you this real quick. See? All you really need is 1.5 cups of water, 1/2 cup of milk, and butter. I put the extra in to make it taste better, but it already has the seasoning in it and everything. So we're going to go ahead and drop that in there because it's hot enough. I don't really want it to boil over. I don't want my milk to get scalded. And we're just going to, see? There's all the little these ingredients and everything in there. And I suppose if you made more chicken or didn't have a big appetite and felt like it, you could make this for 2 people. Although I say this will be enough for me to have dinner tonight, and maybe, well, I'll have it along for breakfast in the morning or for lunch tomorrow. So we're going to let that cook for about 7 to 10 minutes. We'll keep checking on it. I got to check on the bread. Okay, you just want to cook it until your noodles are tender. They're tender. Oops, sorry. Yep, tender. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set it to the side. Okay, that was the best I was able to get out of it. I'm going to let it cool just for a bit. I should do it on a wire rack. And so my answer to that is this. Just to save space and time. So I'm going to let that cool for just a little bit there. Yep, it's on a burner. Not for long though. I just wanted to show you the concept. I'm going to let it cool a little bit before I cut it open and put my spread on and kick it back in the oven for a little bit of a browning on the top. It's not as hollow as I'd like, but we're making garlic bread here. So I'm just going to cut it open. Okay. A little bit of butter. Oops, sorry about that. Add a little garlic. You can add fresh if you have it. Shake a little parsley on top for color. Spread it around evenly as you can. I like to add just a little bit of Parmesan to the top. You don't have to. And I'm going to toss this in the oven until they are toasted. Alrighty, my bread is finally done, so I'm going to plate everything. See how nicely everything thickened up in here. It'll thicken up more. I had the lid on it for a while. But I'm going to go ahead and plate it. Now I just like to give mine a little bit of a garnish. A little bit of Parmesan. Okay, a little bit more. Then a little bit. Not bad for a box dinner. Let's try. Shall we? Oh, it has a nice creamy, it should stand up a little bit more as it's sitting there. It has a nice creaminess to it. Let's see if we can find any of my chicken in there. Mmm. Absolutely delightful. Mmm. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. I'm sorry, I'm hungry. One more bite and then we'll look at the garlic bread. Mmm. I cannot taste the preservatives in there. My bread. Not bad for frozen rolls. I can already tell you what it's going to taste like. Mm-hmm. That has great flavor. You don't have to add any salt, sorry, to the top of these or to the mixture that you make if you use salted butter. It's perfect. So, yeah, I like to do a little dipping too. Anyway, you guys have yourselves a lovely day. And I will as well. I'll talk to you later. Bye.